is the Congresswoman Madeleine Dean. She is a Democrat from Pennsylvania and served as an impeachment manager for former President Trump's second impeachment. Congresswoman, it's nice to see you.
Good to be with you.
Played with votes today. And then, of course, this hearing in prime time a little bit later this evening. I kind of want to get to a question that a lot of Americans are asking right now, which is sort of the so what? What do we get out of this? You know that Americans who are furious about what happened on January 6th are going to be watching with outrage. The challenge is to get those other Americans who may not have been persuaded yet or may not even paid a lot of attention to it. What is success? How do you define that these hearings would be successful?
Success is getting the truth to the American public on the greatest attack on our capital, on our democracy, in our country's history. I was here on January the 6th, and you note correctly that I was one of the impeachment managers for the second impeachment. We, at that point, painted a picture of what we knew at that time. In the meantime, this committee, a bipartisan committee with extraordinary colleagues of mine, have collected more than 1,000 interviews, hundreds of thousands of documents, texts, and what the American people deserve is the truth. What was the coordination for the planned attack on the seat of our democracy, for the planned attempt to interrupt the peaceful transfer of power, to throw out electors, duly elected electors, in order to retain power for one man? The American people deserve the truth. I fully expect they will get it. They will get incredible information about who was involved, who paid for it, who coordinated it, what did the president do, when did he do it, and what did he fail to do?
We heard from Adam Kinzinger, of course, one of the Republicans, Liz Cheney being the other on the committee, and he said that these hearings will, in his words, change history right now. So if it doesn't change public opinion and it doesn't create new laws, new action in Congress, would it still be a success? Could this still be a success in your eyes?
I know it will be a success. And I don't measure success by, does it change what people thought in the past? I measure, do people understand the precious nature of our democracy, that it is in peril, and that it is our responsibility?
Will Congress do something?
Will Congress do something? Exactly right. To rein in the misdeeds of a former president so that we never face this again.
That's my question, though. Will Congress do something?
I believe they will. I believe we will. I know my caucus is committed to doing something.
So let me walk you through, if I can, a little bit about some of the timeline here, and we'll put this up on the screen for our audience as well. This is a look back at the timeline of events on January 6th. I remember being at the White House on that day. We were watching the president's remarks. We saw the protesters gathering before they paraded over to the Capitol. So the speech started, as you see, there at 12 o'clock. If we move down the line at 12:53, then the outer security perimeter around the Capitol was beginning to be breached. By 1:10, the former president, Donald Trump, had wrapped up his remarks. And from there, we saw more than 3 hours of violence. It wasn't until 4:17, just to bring people back to that day, not until 4:17 that the president and the White House tweeted to, quote, "Go home and go in peace." The timeline is something that the hearing that this committee has been so focused on. You've kept a close eye on this, obviously, as an impeachment manager as well. How significant is that timeline, that sort of breach of responsibility in the eyes of Democrats, that the former president didn't do more and didn't act sooner?
It's probably the most damning and telling piece of information. I've thought that all along. Can you imagine? His own vice president was in the Capitol at that time, had to be whisked to safety along with all of us, all the leadership, all the people in the line of
speak.
And he didn't speak for, they didn't even speak, but he didn't do anything. Can you imagine if any single lawmaker was under attack and any other president, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Ronald Reagan, did not act immediately to protect the safety of citizens of this country, let alone the entire Congress?
We know that this has been personal for you. It's something you've been passionate about, as evidenced by this conversation. Now, you spoke passionately about it in the past, and I want to play some of that sound for you, if I can. Oh.
We cannot just sweep this under the rug.
About this, and you were moved by it, became very emotional by it as well. So if you could just take me into your head, if you can, on this day. This is, I've come up to the Hill for both impeachment trials. I come up to the Hill from the White House in anticipation of these hearings. What does this day mean to you? How significant is this moment in American history?
Well, the day itself was terrorizing to me, terrifying to me, but it was more terrifying to me because of what it meant to our country. So I was in the gallery during the beginning of the insurrection, and I was there listening to some of the false arguments that were being made in the first challenge of Arizona. And I tried to go back to my office, but was told by Capitol Police, don't go back. There's a bomb threat in Cannon House office building. Go back to wherever you were. I stood there in the gallery, arm in arm with, or shoulder to shoulder with Dean Phillips as we said, shame, what are you doing? Shame on you for making these false arguments when we were instructed to please sit down, then instructed, please prepare to lie down. I went to the wall of the gallery, and then they said, please take out your gas masks under your seat. I had no idea we had gas masks under our seat. And then sadly, the terrifying banging on the chamber doors, those beautiful ceremonial doors that open for a president or a head of state. Banging, crashing of those doors.
The sound still haunt you?
Still haunts me. That sound is a terrifying sound. I called family. I scared the heck out of them. I feel bad about that to this day. But as I said, I was more scared for our country that the peaceful transfer of power would be interrupted in this grievous way. I knew lives were in danger, and I couldn't see the gravity of the attack on the Capitol. You know, we were inside. We had heard the rotunda had been breached. Put your gas mask on. Tear gas has been deployed. We thought maybe 10, 15, 20, 30 insurrectionists.
Right.
Hundreds and hundreds, and people died. Our flag and the Trump flag used to bludgeon Capitol Police officers. And if they had gotten their hands on Mike Pence or any one of us, would have killed us. One of the saddest moments was when we were hauled out. Jason Crow and others said, take your pin off. Don't let them know who you are.
Jason Crow, who had served in combat overseas.
Literally, and saved others as we were trying to get out. He said, take your pin off. Don't let them know that you serve. They won't distinguish whether you are a Republican or a Democrat. They're out for any one of us. Terrifying. And what's important to the American people, that they pay attention to these hearings, that threat isn't over. It wasn't 1-6. Okay, we killed a few people, we maimed others, we terrified everybody, and we're done? We're not done. We know the former president wants to do it again, and he has people complicit around him who were participants in it. We'll learn who they were, and they would do it again, all for the single power of a single madman, an autocrat madman who knows nothing of our Constitution, knew nothing of his oath.
Congressman Madeleine Dean, we appreciate you revisiting those awful memories, and we're glad that you could be with us on this day.